Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 128 of the Toonami Escape Podcast. I'm Greg Zeno. Tonight we have B-Dubs,
Hello.
C. Kohler,
Hey guys.
and it's Seda!
Yay!
Yeah!
Always good
Confetti.
to have Sate on.
Mhm.
Yeah!
Wait, are we doing the final review for a show today?
Well, no, I mean technically it's the final episode of this season of Attack on Titan, but I don't know if we're
Right.
going to break it out anymore, are we?
Well, actually, I thought it was technically not the final episode of the season.
Well, it's the final episode of a segment of Attack on Titan that will be tracked
Right.
separately in all of my kitsus and hummingbirds. So,
Yeah, that's right. There's like a part two, a core two coming.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because
something.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
already ranked Attack on Titan. I don't know. Are we planning on like re-ranking it now and then re-ranking it again?
I'm not sure
Let's
we'd move
re-rank it now. It stays where it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm fine with waiting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'd wind up moving it at all.
Yep. That's done.
Okay, we just saved ourselves about 20 minutes.
Or more.
Not even that. Like, what? Anyway. So yeah. There's no news other than there's a marathon next week.
Also, go watch the Detective Pikachu trailer.
Psyduck is horrifying.
Everything is horrifying in the most wonderful ways imaginable. I watched this trailer and I'm like, oh, they're just going to make like $7 billion off of this movie.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
People are like, did they hire that dude who made those realistic Pokemon drawings on Twitter?
Yes, they
Turns
did.
out they did.
Hmm.
I mean, he toned it down a lot.
I was expecting just like cartoony CG kind of mixed with real world, not like realism CG or whatever that is.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of the designs, but with realistic textures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they're making a live-action Pokemon movie based on this, on the whole
Why
Detective
not?
Pikachu. I don't know, because like it's, and the Pokemon Company being okay with it. Like, look, whatever. I don't really care that much, but like, the idea is that like Pokemon is this whimsical, magical, awesome world, and they're making this dark, gritty detective movie. Like, what the hell?
It almost feels like
Not really, it's not really dark and gritty at all.
Well, I mean, okay, but whatever.
It
It's
feels
not
a little.
Sinnoh region. It's like some freaking city. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is a detective movie, but I think kind of what they're doing is they're sort of subverting everyone's expectations for what a Pokemon movie can look like. And B, this is something that they can easily do in one shot. They're not going to have to do any crazy montages or cut it into two different movies. Like if they wanted to do, like an 8 badges kind of let's be the best trainer ever thing, that's at least 2 movies or one movie with a gigantic Rocky montage of like 4 or 5 different gyms.
Here's the here's the Kanto movie if they had made it back in like 2002 or something. He beats Brock, he beats Misty, montage all the other gym leaders.
Giovanni. And,
Is the final
yeah.
I still think that's
Don't
more
even-
appealing.
It's not in there.
Well,
I think that's way more appealing.
Well, I mean, this is the sort of thing like it will probably be more likely to get people that aren't already fans of the series into it because it's using the property in a way that they are very familiar with. Like everyone's seen sort of like a noir style detective show before or movie, and
Everyone's
it's just
seen a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, it's just that sort of frame of reference thing where they're taking something that they want that's kind of weird and out there, and they're just wrapping it in like the sort of most bog standard normal thing imaginable.
It just rubs me the wrong way because it's like the only thing that redeems it is the fact that the Pokemon Company actually is in on it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this is like a bastardization of the property to me. It's
Well,
like
I mean,
it's going against the spirit of it.
they
Detective
did make it.
Pikachu is a real game.
I
Yes,
know,
it
but
is.
like even Detective Pikachu doesn't I mean, it's just, why is he talking? I mean, it's just like it's everything
That's
I
the
hate about
joke.
Sonic the Hedgehog. When they screw with Sonic the Hedgehog, they make him some talking asshole. I don't. It's like, why can't the character just be the way he was? I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
it's simple. What if Pikachu was Deadpool?
I know that's like, yeah, great question. Why?
I feel like this movie is weird enough, and that alone makes it interesting, but also it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
I just feel like it's a missed opportunity. Do the really cool version of Pokemon. Like, do
I
the live action version that is like
honestly,
what everyone thought the games was.
I think we're getting that next, honestly. Like, if this does the gangbusters that everybody kind of thinks it's going to do, then they're going to be more willing to take the risk and do like the 2-3 movie series of, whatever, game they're going to adapt.
They'll do something. I don't think they should directly adapt a game.
Well, I mean, they could take like, something like, say, Yellow version and, broad strokes adapt it, add in a bunch of character stuff in there as well. But,
You know what this reminds me of? Those live action Garfield movies. At least that was like canon, At least those were about John and Garfield.
Hey, they had Bill Murray in those movies. Don't you talk bad about them.
I'm just saying. At least those were more faithful to the original material. This is like, I don't know. This is like not the same. It's just like set in the Pokemon. It's set in a Pokemon universe, not the Pokemon universe.
No, I'm pretty sure it's set in the Pokemon universe.
Well, I know it is, but like, it doesn't look like that in the games. It's kind of like the Super Mario Brothers movie. I mean, like, is that canon? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, that was like wildly different to like a hilarious degree. This is, mostly faithful outside of the fact that, hey, Pikachu's a wise talking, detective in a buddy cop film.
Gym battle in that trailer.
Do you think they just try to do a straight up live action adaptation of the Pokemon movie, like the Mewtwo thing and everything?
That would be fine.
I honestly don't think they do, because that works because they had the series already. And
if you're going to do any sort of trilogy, inevitably you have to have Mewtwo.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably wind, like, if you did, say, Yellow version, isn't Giovanni's last Pokemon in Yellow version like Mewtwo or something?
I have no idea.
Oh no, that's in Let's Go. I think it's going to wind up being Mewtwo or something.
Spoilers.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that was in the trailer. That's where I got it from.
I don't actually care. It might have been in Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah. It's in one of the fucking things. Giovanni had a Mewtwo as his last Pokemon, and whatever.
Anyway, do you think Pikachu is an absolute requirement for any movie they make?
I have no idea.
I think so.
I mean, he's very obviously the mascot character, so, like, I think if they do wind up doing an adaptation of, one of the mainline games, it's going to wind up being Yellow.
I just think the structure is so gamey that there's no way you can put it in and not have it be bad.
I think you can figure it out if you treat it more like a boxing movie. Kind of like a Rocky sort of thing.
Maybe.
Like, I think that would work.
Oh, you're right. Pokemon training just being an analog for boxing.
Yeah. I think something like that would work. The problem would just be pacing it in a way that, you get multiple fights in one movie.
You'd have to really delete the vast majority of the gym leaders.
I mean, you could
Nobody's going to show up for the Erica fight.
I don't know. That one might be cool.
I will say that this trailer does definitely appeal probably more than just Pokemon fans or people who are interested in that world. I mean, like this movie, I guess in that way, is kind of trying to get more people interested in it. It's just that, like, it always rubs me the wrong way when, like, you take like a beloved property and you do some weird spin on it, and that's all.
Did you see how Paul W.S. Anderson did an interview where he answered a question like, "We're totally being faithful to Monster Hunter."
Oh, God.
First image of that movie is just a bunch of soldiers in a Humvee
in Iraq. like I remember when I hunted my first Diablos, I was on a tour in Afghanistan. We were in the Humvee. I was in the gunner's seat, with the big minigun, and then there it was, and then I just started shooting, and it was coming at us, man, and it was coming at us, and
It's
You sure
you
that
don't
wasn't?
know, you weren't there.
You sure that wasn't an interview with Yui Bolo or whatever his name is?
They're basically the same person now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Toonami.
Yep.
Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
My Hero Academia, episode 26. Time to pick some names. All right, kids, it's high school. It's time to pick your internet handle, and you can never change it ever.
This is the wrong time to pick their names. The absolute wrong time.
Well, they said they could change it later.
I mean, as long as they can change it later, that's whatever. But it's like, if they can't change it, then this is not the time in their lives you get them to pick a name. Because otherwise, it's all going to be like Darkness.
Oh, you mean like
Dealer
King Explosion
XX.
Murder?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be all King Explosion Murder.
As long as Mina can go back to Alien Queen eventually, I'm good.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Alien Queen's way better than Pinky.
Shut up, Midnight. You don't know anything.
Yep.
Yeah, she's totally wrong about that.
Yeah. Alien Queen was good. She should definitely do that one.
Seriously, though, did anyone expect anything different out of Bakugo?
No, it's about right.
It's like I'm surprised he didn't just walk up and be like, the Punisher.
He probably thought that was too extreme.
Anyway, what's the best name?
Didn't Deku go with Deku?
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually kind of anticlimactic, frankly.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, this way I don't have to remember another name for Deku, because he's got like 3 at this point, and it's just, a little ridiculous. But, it's like, it kind of feels like the author realized, okay, wait, I'm using 3 different names for this character already. If I add a 4th one onto this, it's going to be way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of good that they built up to it with that, like the 3rd or 4th episode where he was like, "My name is now Deku." But yeah, I mean, still, it's okay. It's an okay name. I just thought it would have been more interesting if he'd come up with something. Although, I mean, I certainly a lot better than what they say in his like little flashback. It was like All Might Junior or something.
Yeah. Oh God, if he picked that, I would have had to just like cringe my life away.
All Might would have had to come in being like, I'm in an extremely bizarre position to tell you to shut the fuck up.
I'm very happy that you chose this, but please, no, you're going to start rumors.
Zeta, what was your favorite name?
Most of them I've actually forgotten.
What, you don't remember Tailman?
Honestly,
Okay.
I just remember King Explosion Murder.
No, the best name is Froppy.
That's what I just said. I don't know if you heard me. Froppy's probably the best one.
Which one was Froppy?
Which one would be Froppy?
Oh,
Good
come
point.
on. You don't know which one is Froppy?
I forgot.
What do you mean you don't know which Pokemon is number 327?
I mean, Froggy, sure.
No, Froppy is way better.
All right.
It's
Is it
kind
like a
of
mix
frog
between
and
frog and-
hoppy.
Or Frog and Floppy?
Or Rabbity was all right. That's okay. That's kind of weird to say, but it's a good name, I guess.
My name is extremely dark and impressive.
What was it? I forget.
Tsukiyomi.
Oh, yeah. One of those Japanese gods that shows up in every
Japanese
anime.
thing ever. It's very much like the second he said, I'm like, that's some Sasuke shit right there.
I mean, he'll next gain like a new ability, and it'll be called Susanoo.
And then there's going to be Amaterasu at some
Yep.
point.
I mean, in Japanese mythology, I don't remember exactly, but like those 3 gods are connected. So whenever those things are named, they're always paired up
Together in some way, yeah.
So including the Naruto Uchiha moves. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, everyone has to choose names because they're going off to internships. Boy, wouldn't you have liked to get an automatic internship no matter what?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, it's like a prestigious school, so makes sense.
And the internship that Deku was going to, I forget his name, or if we were even given it.
It was Gran Torino.
Gran Torino, that's right.
Get off my lawn!
It's some old guy that even All Might, I don't know if he's like afraid of him, but kind of he's I don't know what the right word is. He's hesitant.
Deku actually said in his head when they was riding in the train over there, he's like someone that even All Might's afraid of.
Yeah, I don't know if All Might was afraid. I mean, he showed him like shivering, but I don't know if it was like hesitant or worried or more of afraid. I don't know. Just he was some guy that All Might is not super fond of for some reason or another.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not fond of him. It's just like respect.
Yeah.
Did All Might say that this Gran Torino had trained All Might's previous?
Gran Torino was a close friend of All Might's predecessor and his homeroom teacher for 1 year.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's right. Like a friend of them. Okay.
Right. And All Might's previous teacher.
Yes.
I don't understand what this little cliffhanger is at the end of the episode where he's laying in some red pool and he's like, I'm fine.
He's been killed.
It's a Danganronpa episode.
I thought the whole episode was actually really fun. It's kind of nice to have a kind of lighthearted classroom episode after all the drama from the sports festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a good transition between that sports festival, basically climax, to clearly the next arc with Ida and what's his name? Stain.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the real. Well, that was the real cliffhanger for the episode. Was
Stain.
Like Ida like walking away, and then I like that scene. Deku and Uraka was there, and Deku's like, "Hey man, we're your friends. You can tell us if something's wrong." And he's just like, "Okay, thanks." And then he walks away with this stern look on his face.
Excuse me, Ida, you seem to have a lot more shading on your face than you usually do. Is something wrong?
You might want to chill.
Put the menacing JoJo font on the screen.
Your glasses are extremely bright. I can't see your eyes. Fun.
Yep.
I mean, I like Ida, so it's kind of nice that there's going to be a little bit more focus on him.
Also, like real foreboding when Deku was like, "I really should have said more to him." It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Probably should have.
He's gonna die. Sure. I know. I've seen the show.
Spoilers. How dare you?
You better not have just spoiled that, or I'm going to really be mad.
Oh, yeah. He's not going to be happy.
I didn't.
Okay.
He did.
But that in itself is a spoiler. Anyway.
All of them.
Do you want to talk about Naruto? Naruto Shippuden, episode 226, Battleship Island. No, not the One Piece filler arc, the Naruto Shippuden filler episode.
Are we sure this isn't an episode of One Piece, only 100 times worse?
No.
I mean, it has literal pirates in it.
I mean, no, are we not sure, or no, it's not? Because this would be like the worst One Piece filler arc ever.
I'm sure I've seen this One Piece episode before.
So I only half paid attention to this episode, and like what I recall is they're on their boat. It's stormy.
Mm-hmm.
They meet pirates. For some reason, like they get attacked. They go underwater. What's his face? Wood guy makes them a submarine.
Yeah.
Then they're like traveling along, and then they are like in a cave, and then somehow they end up like after some stuff happens at like the top of a mountain, and then they like launch off of it. I probably missed some things in there. They do it. They use it like a giant like ski slope, only with their boat. Yeah, that happened. What did I miss? I know I missed something.
I'm pretty sure Luffy pulled that almost exact same move in Marineford. Like sort of, launching his ship off of like a ramp or something and crashing it into some poor schmuck.
No, I think that actually might have just been the Battleship Island filler again.
No, I'm pretty sure he did that in Marineford. Like,
No, he
the
jumped off
giant
a wave.
ice.
He jumped off an ice wave in Marineford, and then he wasn't on the boat the rest of the time.
I thought the boat flew off the ice wave.
No, they fell through the sky because it's in the opening.
Oh, right. Okay.
But anyway, regardless, stop comparing this shit to One Piece.
Well, it does feel like a very horrible One Piece episode because it's all pirates and none of it makes any sense with anything we know about Naruto.
I don't know if it's just this is what my brain kind of wants to see because it'd be amusing, but like some of the pirate characters, like it looks like they're sort of trying to look like One Piece characters. Like they have a slightly different, they have like a slightly different art style and like their face and like
it's like
shape.
somebody at Perot being like, "Man, One Piece is so popular. What could we do?"
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to be on a boat. Let's do a bunch of One Piece filler.
It's the only time.
Also, somebody screwed up and played the whole opening this time.
No, they do that for every opening one time at a interval.
I think we might have seen this opening before, though. Like they've actually played this opening twice.
Maybe.
Like,
I think I agree with you, Sada. I think it did happen once before. I think it's a glitch.
There wasn't a goodie or like a music video this week, so.
Oh, maybe that's why they just filled it out then.
Yeah.
I actually have nothing else to contribute about this episode unless someone else does. This is like pretty bad.
We joked about that dude last week being Captain Puzzle. No.
This is Captain Puzzle.
This guy even talking about like collecting pirate booty and shit. Like they literally said that. Pirate booty.
This guy is the most Captain Puzzle guy to ever Captain Puzzle.
This dude's a pirate cosplayer. He's a pirate LARPer.
He's in Ninja World, so they don't know nothing about no pirates.
Yeah, they invented pirates for a comic book or some shit. Then he was like, "This is the coolest. I'm gonna be a pirate."
This is really pirates versus ninjas, isn't it?
Turns out ninjas win.
I actually kind of understand where this is coming from, though. If you frame it in the idea that the filler writers can't really do anything ninja related without potentially affecting future stories, so they'll just write about pirates instead.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the problem with these kind of things is you don't know what the, original series has planned, so you can't really go off and do something good because, you
they
can't
almost always
tie
have to
into it
retread
properly.
things. That's the only way they can make fillers work is they're like, oh, let's show somebody doing a move they've done before because they can't obviously have a new move.
Well, no, I mean, it's not only that, but you can't have any like minor character growth or, anything like that because, how do I put it? Like where Naruto's going, it would make sense if they had a little bit of character growth for him on the way there in the direction he's going to sort of even it out a little bit, because a lot of it happens almost all at once, and it's kind of like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah, in fillers, it's usually these ancillary filler characters who have the character arc. It's never our protagonists.
Right, because often they don't know what is going to be happening later on, because it hasn't been written yet. So they're too afraid to, step on the toes of the story and either overshoot or go in a completely different direction and have to rewrite it. So all they can do is just kind of play with the toys and put them in the back of the box at the end of the episode.
Do y'all remember the filler arc with the place to return to?
Oh, God, shoot me now.
Which one was that?
Yeah, that was great.
Was that the lake?
Yes.
Yeah, they spent like half of it on a lake fighting a giant.
Oh, God. Honestly, that was a good idea for an arc, but it was so horribly done.
Man.
I almost feel sorry for like Laura Bailey. Like, you have to voice this absolutely shitty character Yeah.
Yeah, like the only redeeming part is I'm sure she got paid fairly well for it. So
I mean, it was. I mean, that was before she was like super big time. Just like, hey, you get paid to do this, even if it's shit.
yeah, I mean, you take the job.
Anyways, I just wanted to remind you of that.
Yeah,
Gee, thanks.
Thanks.
We're all waiting on you, Greg. So let's move on.
Yeah,
Please.
let's go on to Boruto.
ugh,
Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Episode 7, Love and Potato Chips.
Wait, that was actually what the episode was called.
yep.
In this episode, there's a creepy stalker, but thanks, potato chips.
I kind of like this episode. You guys can hate me for it, but I liked it.
I mean, it was
I
better
like
than the
it too.
last one.
Like, the guy was suitably creepy,
Yeah,
but that kind of made it entertaining in a way, like because he was so creepy, and he was being portrayed as creepy, and all the characters thought he was creepy. So there wasn't like a disconnect between intent and reception.
right,
Like sometimes
like
the character is acting
they're-
creepy, but it seems like they don't acknowledge it.
right.
Like with something the
Black
viewers
Clover.
say, but like the show doesn't seem to realize how creepy they're being. It seems like they were intentionally making him as creepy as possible, and we see that. So
Yeah,
so we're in sync here. The animation in the episode is pretty good.
Mhm.
I mean, even
Yeah, it
not,
was
not
really
like
good.
not like a heavy action episode. There was maybe a little bit of movement at the end there, but just throughout, it was a pretty well animated episode.
I like a good animated episode that doesn't even have action. Like when there's
Right.
just little character little like character motions and
Yeah.
expressions. Like there were lots of funny expressions in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, even things like Sumire, that's her name, like kind of like even just like small moments where she like opens the door and like gets out of the room and shuts it behind her, and they just that it's a mundane action, but like it's the animation for just doing stuff like that was
Yeah.
fine. Like sometimes that's just nice to see that, and it's not just all dumped in like these fights all the time or whatever.
yeah.
I thought that Boruto was actually pretty funny in this episode. Like a lot of his kind of like responses to what things people were saying and stuff, I thought they were pretty funny because he would be like, "What?" and stuff like that. And it was kind of funny when he said it.
And
I
his,
mean,
his voice
that was-
actress did a decent job too.
Yeah, I mean, that was mostly my reaction to most of this episode was like Boruto. I'm like, what? Like that whole big speech, what's her name gave at the end of the episode about the potato chips, and I'm kind of like, huh?
Well, like so.
I
this
mean,
guy,
I got
first of
it,
all,
but
First of all, this dude, people mentioned on
creep.
this, but he looked older than like the rest of the cast. So it looked like he was
30.
creeping on a girl who was like
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 years younger than him. At that age is a pretty significant difference. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like it. I mean, who knows? Maybe they were supposed to be the same age, but it didn't look like it. Sumire looks like, and the rest of the kids look like they're 11, 12, like middle school age. And he looked like he
14,
was
15.
high school age, like maybe not like 18, but still just kind of
yeah,
like
14 and 15.
So that was weird. Now, Chocho, and other people mentioned this too, but like someone, I think Mora said, like she sounds different every time she talks, and I see where he's coming from. Like I can't like put a finger on her voice. Like it never sounds the same to me. Like sometimes it's kind of.
I feel like the voice actress is trying to find the voice.
Like you mentioned it before, and someone else mentioned this in the thread too. So you're not alone. It kind of sounds like low key Valley Girl at times, like whatever. And then sometimes it's not quite that, but it's like it's actually hard for me to imagine what she sounds like now because she sounds so different, just in, like from line to line, and it's kind of weird. And she was a kind of semi focal point of the episode, even though she wasn't being creeped on. She had this metaphor at the end about how potato chips are something.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I guess I'll just briefly describe it. Basically, there was this bag of potato chips that nobody wanted to try because it was weird and different. But she tried it and it tasted really good. And she's like, "Look, you can be weird and different. That's fine. You just have to, put yourself out there and give it a chance. I guess something like that."
I mean, it was intentionally a silly metaphor. So.
Right. Because Chocho likes food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you didn't notice.
What?
Like father, like daughter.
Well, actually, in Naruto, I think they say like in order for them to use their powers, they actually have to eat. So it's actually like a canonical thing. Like they have to eat, or else their powers don't really work quite right. So yeah.
The expansion jutsu.
Yep.
They got to get fat.
So anyway, Boruto. Was there anything else in this episode? I don't remember.
There was more about the dark chakra thing.
And Mitsuki dropping more hints that he knows something.
Yeah.
And Boruto can't draw. Now I remember.
Yeah, he's really not good at that. He needs to stop trying.
Oh yeah, there was a shot in the episode too where like why can never remember that guy's name?
Shikadai,
thank you. Shikadai is like, "Hey Boruto, do you see the darkness on this guy?" And he's like, "No, it's not there." Or maybe he sees it that time, I forget which. And then of course the camera then slowly pans over to Mitsuki, and he's just sort of giving this side eye, and it's like, "Okay, we get it, show." Mitsuki knows something.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows something.
I will say I do like how the episode, even in a kind of creepy way, did give Sumier a little bit of a focus, because she's kind of been like, she's like, how do I put this? She's not related to any other character we know, is she?
I don't think so.
She's actually like
so either.
And that's kind of refreshing that not like she's a character that's new and not just, a Naruto character junior.
I totally agree. Like we need more characters like that, because obviously the whole world doesn't revolve around the original cast.
Yeah. So that's kind of refreshing that they gave her a little bit of a spotlight, even if it was at her expense.
I will say though, she definitely does not strike me as the ninja type, because I'm not entirely sure they're in ninja school. I mean, I know they're at the academy, but like, are they literally training to be ninjas?
I think this is one of those things they never really specified too much in original Naruto, what they actually learn.
I want to say they overhauled. Yeah, I want to say they overhauled the ninja school thing and made it actually not completely useless.
Because it's kind of funny in the original Naruto. It feels like after he graduates, quote unquote, ninja school, he still has to learn everything about the basics of ninjas.
Right, but when he went to ninja school in Naruto, it was to become a ninja. It was become a genin or whatever. My question is, now in this post-war time, are they all there still to become ninjas, or is that just a school?
I think it's still ninja school, and they did kind of mention that it's more of a choice thing now. Like some people don't go there because it's not as crucial. I think that was kind of the whole thing with Denki,
because there was a scene where they were practicing ninja stars.
Yeah.
So they were doing a class about it, and then of all the characters, this new girl, she just doesn't seem like she's ninja material.
We don't know. We don't have any idea what her power is, or if she has a bloodline power or whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's but really what I was getting at, just to double check on it, was that she's like a new character, interesting. That alone makes her interesting because she's not just someone we kind of already know or a proxy of someone we already know. So.
I mean, that kind of makes her stick out in a way that the other characters don't. Mm-hmm. And it kind of feels like, hey, there might be something going on here, I
just like her too. I mean, she's genuinely a nice character, and she's pleasant to be around. I kind of like her. She's, I don't know. I like characters of her type where they're just like pure-hearted characters.
Yeah. Honestly, if I thought they were going to kill someone off, she'd probably be my first guess.
She does kind of have that red shirt.
Yeah. I mean, she's not sort of related to anyone or anything like that, so I'm kind of just like, yeah, if someone's going to go bad or get killed off or something, that's probably who it's going to be.
The one person who has no parents, who has no parent that can't possibly be evil?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Anyway.
I hear a bunch of scratching.
In honor of this episode, B-Dubs has decided to open a bag of chips.
I'm not actually doing anything this time.
It's coming from you.
It's not me.
It's
kind of
definitely
weird.
B-dubs.
Not,
I can see it on Google Chat here.
I haven't done anything.
Well, it stopped.
Well, that'll be a weird moment to edit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super episode 87, Hunt Down the Poachers, Goku and Android 17's United Front. I like how last week we were like, fucking space poachers, and this episode Goku was like, fucking space poachers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently they come into Earth with that Minotauros.
With their giant vacuum laser.
Oh, yeah. I guess Minotauro's horn is like a, male
Aphrodisiac.
enhancer or something. Yeah, it's like a male enhancer or something. Like, Space Emperor is like, I gotta get it up and nothing will do it for me but that Minotauro's horn.
He has the resources to get it.
Yep.
I mean, this episode left me very confused about Android 17's characterization. Because he went from, I will protect all these animals, to, I don't care if everyone dies, to, if I got the Super Dragon Balls, I would get a boat. Instead of, I don't know, making more Minotaurus.
Yeah, well, that seems a little obvious, but, he never did seem like the smart one of that group.
I kind of expected him to say like he has no need for Super Dragon Balls. That felt, I mean, just my, I guess, perception of what type of character he is, or like what they're trying to show him as in the first episode. Like he did sort of balk initially. Like, why do you keep trying to dangle these prizes in front of me, Goku? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. But still, it is a little bit weird.
He went from, hey, 17, I bet that large amount of money that Goku was initially offering you would have bought you that boat.
It probably would have.
So,
Well, I mean, Bulma's probably got a boat. You can just buy it off of her for cheap.
no.
And also, why do you need like a gigantic cruise liner for your family of 4 or 5
I don't know.
to be in the world?
I mean, I imagine it takes a lot of people to keep one of those running. So then you'd have to pay, all of the staff members on it too.
See, Kohler, the episode image is just, that picture of the cat reading the newspaper being like, I should buy a boat.
Yeah.
Android 17.
Okay.
And that's the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. This really does feel like sort of like a midlife crisis thing where he's like, maybe I'll get a boat, and then never take it anywhere.
And then immediately after getting the boat, all boats turn into, I would really like to get rid of this boat.
Exactly.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I kind of actually don't mind or don't take issue with his original stance of I don't care what happens with this tournament, even if everything's at stake.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
like sometimes, like I just feel it might be slightly pessimistic, but if there's all these things happening that are just going to happen, then I don't know. It feels like sometimes you just kind of have to go with it, I guess. If I don't know, maybe I'm just a pessimistic person.
No, I understand where you're coming from. It's this idea that's like it's okay to just step back and look after the little things and let other people deal with the bigger world.
well, I mean, in this case, it feels a bit more like like there's a meteor coming to Earth, and Goku's going around doing his Bruce Willis thing, and getting a team together and whatnot. And 17's kind of like, yeah, I know the meteor's going to kill us all, and you need my help and all that, but I'll just spend the last of my days with my family, thanks.
Well, you know what, though? I would agree with Seda even more if that's what it was, if he was more interested in caring about his family, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was only caring about, poachers.
Yeah.
That's the part that was weird.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I get kind of what they were going for, but I feel like maybe they flubbed the landing a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's almost like a filler.
This episode did feel like a filler episode.
Yeah.
It sure did, didn't it? Because this is so weird. Why is there filler in Super when it's all original content?
Honestly, I think it's just been so long since we've seen Android 17 in literally anything that they felt the need to like give him a couple of episodes of his own just to get everybody reacquainted with him.
Basically, it would have felt maybe too cheap or simple, or
Yeah.
maybe just boring if it was like, "Hey, 17, want to join up? Sure, let's do it."
Yeah.
I bet
So
they
they're
like
like-
had an outline and they were like, okay, so here's season 1, blah 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 blah. This stuff happens, blah blah blah. Okay, so we know 17 is going to join, so he'll get 2 episodes. Okay, we'll pencil in 2 episodes for him, and then the writers are like, shit, we've got to come up with some kind of story that will fit only 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And we'll somehow persuade 17 to join up.
Yeah, and this is the best they could come up with. It was like, oh, he's on an island and he protects animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the island protecting animals thing is fine, but it really does feel like he should have been persuaded at the end of the first episode. And the second episode is kind of just like, yeah, okay, we haven't seen him in a long time. We need to, actually do something more with him. So it doesn't feel like as much of an ass pull.
Do we trust Goten and Trunks to take care of the island?
Oh, absolutely not.
He's going to come back and they're going to be roasting the fucking Minotaurus over an open fire.
Exactly. Like, thank God this is only, about a 45-minute tournament, because if this was a couple of days, they would absolutely eat all of those goddamn animals.
Oh yeah, Goku's answer for every explosion is, put it on King Kai's planet.
Well, I mean, it worked the first time.
And he's already dead.
I'm still surprised they haven't revived King Kai.
They joked about it recently. They joked about it in the show, which means
they had
no intention of ever doing it.
Poor King Kai. Goku almost got him revived, but then they wasted all of their wishes.
Yeah, I did like the line though when he dropped him off and King Kai is like, "This guy's not even going to blow up. It's all a ruse." And then Goku's response is like, "Well, I'll be a giant monkey."
You are a giant monkey.
You were.
You can be a giant monkey.
No, he can't.
He could.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he got his tail back, he could.
That's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Well, I thought the implication is he's too old to grow another tail. Because Gohan,
Dragon Ball, bitches, they can wish it back.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if they wished the tail back, he could probably become a giant monkey.
Do you think Broly has a tail?
I think he does.
Yeah, he absolutely has a tail.
So this is gonna. I guess that could be a part of the movie.
Grab him by the tail.
They did that.
Wait, they did that?
No, imagine if they did do that in the new movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Turned into it if Broly went Super Monkey.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could see that being a part of the movie because there aren't any real ones left. He would have it.
yeah. I mean, it'd be cool.
Super Saiyan 4 Broly.
Oh yeah, we're bringing back. Oh yeah, we're bringing back Super Saiyan 4. That thing you like.
It would be a laugh if that was only about as strong as Super Saiyan God.
Wait a minute, no, this isn't really bringing it back though because GT wasn't canon.
No,
right?
I was just joking.
But no, but this is interesting because aren't there shots of it from this new movie that looks like Super Saiyan 4?
I don't think so.
No, I don't
I
think
saw
so.
some screenshot of one of the characters looking that way.
Well, there's also another anime that does a bunch of more random.
Yeah, it's like there's a
what if.
There's a Dragon Ball multiverse
It's
anime
Dragon Ball Heroes or something like that.
Yeah.
Title, but
people keep linking the entire fan sub videos on the forum, and I gotta keep come on guys, I keep telling you don't do that.
Anyways, I was just joking.
I mean, it'd be funny if they did.
I mean, he can go Super Saiyan, and if he has a tail, according to GT, that's what you needed to become Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing back everything else from GT in bits and pieces, so
why not this?
They're bringing back Gogeta, aren't they?
I think that was the rumor.
Are they?
He's in the movie Gogeta.
I thought that was the rumor, but not shown.
Yeah.
I've been paying attention.
I think it's basically a
All
terribly
but
kept
confirmed.
secret.
Okay.
Gogeta
right.
sounds like a kind of
Oh
cheese.
no, I think what happened is they data mined Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh, well,
Oh.
I mean, that they might just be adding it for fun then.
They haven't added anything else from GT at all.
Well, I mean, you never know. They might just be like, yeah, okay, let's add some GT stuff. Well, I mean, Gogeta was also one of the movies. The Fusion Reborn thing.
I don't know. But I think
So,
that's the rumor. That's basically all but confirmed because of something that I
all
don't
right.
remember. Anyway, Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho 100, Episode 3, An Invitation to a Meeting. Simply put, I just want to be popular.
He really does.
In this episode, Mob just wants to be popular.
Like they try and blackmail him into joining the club, and wait, was that this episode or last episode?
This episode was the smiley mask stuff.
Oh, right, the smiley mask.
So I forget exactly how the episode opened, but basically on the way home from school or his office job with Reigen or whatever, he gets basically met by this, I don't know, cult advocate with a mask, like, you should be happy. And like, there's kind of a little bit of a humorous back and forth, like, what can you offer me? And like on the fourth try, it's like, can you make me popular? Oh yes, we can do that. So follow me. And he's like, okay.
How'd you know?
Even though it was clearly like not what they do, you know, Mob is just a little bit naive. He wanted to be popular, so he followed them to their little base hideout.
Mm-hmm.
He meets a couple other characters there. One's another student that I think we've met before. I forget her name. She's like a side character, and then an older guy. And basically, they're all getting initiated into this cult of happiness stuff. I didn't miss anything up to this point.
It was called the LOL Club.
Yeah. And so this, if you want me to continue my summary, this guy is a psychic, or he has some psychic powers, and for some reason, he wants to use his powers on everyone to kind of force them to be happy. He sort of like tricks their brains into laughing and smiling. It seems like they sort of resist at first, but eventually they sort of just give into it. But Mob, of course, being basically the most powerful psychic, it doesn't affect him. And so a bunch of stuff happens. Then Mob kind of finally meets his limit thing there.
That was really cool how through the whole episode they kept like cutting away to like his percentage, and it's like got up to 100, and the guy turns out to actually be a spirit or a ghost or whatever,
right?
And the masks, I think, were some kind of device that the ghost was using to change people, because he's like, the mask didn't even work on him. But he's doing all sorts of funny things. Like there's that scene that was really cool where like he has a contest of who could laugh first, and they have to like drink milk, and the first one to spit the milk out loses. And the ghost psychic bad guy or whatever, he spikes the milk with something that makes it, he has to spit it out, and it's like animated in this like cool like sand animation kind of thing. Very briefly, it looked really cool. I don't know. I just had to mention that because it's like this really neat animation style that's just suddenly in the show. The girl that's there with him, she said that she's like the reporter, and that she's like trying to investigate this secret society to figure out what's going on, because she thinks something shady's going on, and immediately gets inducted into it, and she's unable to stop laughing.
Yep.
But the scene at the end where Mob finally flips his switch or whatever, goes to 100%, and he's like, and then he has that speech that he had from the trailer where he's like, the one emotion that will set him over the top is rage, and it just decimates that guy.
So this episode also had like an underlying theme to it, and there's a couple of flashbacks too, where Mob has always been very skilled with his psychic abilities, and because like the abilities to him were like it almost put too much of a spotlight on him when he was young, he actually kind of became more reserved and basically would stop putting himself out there, and he kind of became he kind of clammed up, and that's kind of where they sort of indicate why he sort of became emotionless. Like he just sort of he almost became robotic in the way he interacts with people and things like that. And then after all this stuff happens to get him to kind of spew out his emotions, even if it's if it's done in a very shonen way. After all that happens, he has he's eating with Reigen. He's eating Mob Donald's takeout.
Mob Donald's.
And
Mob
Reigen
Donald's.
actually has some like genuine like life advice here. He says stuff like "You're the protagonist of your own life," things like that. And it kind of follows up on that theme of, you know, you're in control of your life and you put yourself out there because that's the one thing you do have control over. And so I don't know if the way this theme was handled throughout the episode held water the whole time, or how well done it was. But it felt like that was sort of the idea behind not just the stuff that happened, but why it happened and what they're actually trying to say at this episode. I do feel like they were trying to say something here. And Reigen, that's his name, right? Reigen? I'm not missaying.
I think it's Regan, right?
Regan,
I thought it was Reagan.
Reagan, Seda, who knows? But he actually had he has some legitimate like life advice at times, and that was
this is what I was trying to say a couple episodes ago when the first episode when I was talking about it. It's like, I get it. Yeah, this guy is shady. He obviously is manipulating Mob to his benefit. But I also don't feel like he's evil or anything. I feel like he genuinely does care about Mob in some way and tries to give him good advice.
Like he's looking out for the kid. He's just completely taking advantage of him while he does it. Yeah,
he knows that Mob is naive, and he's taking advantage of that to his own benefit. And he does con people all the time, but at the same time, he's not really hurting anyone too much. Maybe out of just scamming them out of a few bucks here or there.
Yeah, and I mean, him and Mob do actually legitimately help people all the time. It's just that, you know, he is at his core a con man, but at the same time, he's constantly trying to get Mob to look out for con men and to do things that, you know, he wants to do and that are good for him, many of which involve helping him out with exorcisms.
Yeah, but like just like Seda said, like he didn't really need to give Mob that talk, and I think he did because he cares about him.
Yeah, he's a good guy, you know, and
cares about him in a way that like a friend would care about a friend, and kind of like, hey, yeah, buddy, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's gonna be all right. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to add.
The ghost guy showed up at the very end.
Oh yeah, and it's like immediately 20%.
Yeah,
it's like, oh hi.
I actually didn't realize like before that happened, but that ghost thing is in the opening.
Yep.
So I guess he's now Mob's friend. So
where did that?
I don't know.
Did that little ghost guy show up somewhere earlier in the series?
I think he was in the opening, but I don't.
I know he's in the opening, but like,
no,
people were in the thread were like, "Oh, he's back," and I'm like, "Back?"
I think they meant he's back. Like the ghost guy was defeated in one punch or one touch or whatever.
Yeah,
and now
he's like, you're saying the little green blob is the happy guy?
Yep, that's who it is.
Oh, see, I didn't put that together. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like and like when I first saw the happy guy, I didn't realize that he was the ghost from the beginning, even though he sort of has like the same like what are those little details on his face, the like red dots.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call those, but like he showed up again, and I assume he sticks around because he's in the opening. I don't know if he's a good guy or a nuisance or what the heck he is, but he's there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, I want to talk about him, but I can't.
Don't.
Well, I know that he does stick around because I think he's even in promo material for the next season and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, he definitely sticks around. It's just a matter of
what's his name? Funny. I remember the like they called him Dimple when he was not a ghost, but I don't remember what his ghost name was or if he has one.
They just call him Dimple.
Oh, he's still Dimple. Okay. I think that basically covers the episode.
Dimple's a good name.
He's a good boy.
No, he's not.
He's horrible.
Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, episode 49, Night of the Battle to Retake the Wall. In this episode, everyone gets drunk.
Well, I mean, what
Well,
else are
except
you
for
gonna do?
Sasha, who goes freaking feral.
Some say she's still tied to that post.
I
They're
love
never
that scene.
taking.
That was so good.
They're never taking her down.
So yeah, they're gonna go. They're going to the basement, guys.
That's the plan.
It's about time.
I've said before, I really don't mind that it took them this long to get to this point. Like I don't know if people like legitimately think that's an actual like legitimate problem with the show is that they introduced it too early or whatnot. I just think it actually makes I actually think it's a little bit more natural that they can't just introduce something and then every single time immediately go straight to that like as soon as it's convenient. Uh, I mean,
it
so
became a huge thing with the manga because it was introduced, and then like almost a decade later, we're kind of like, so we at the basement yet? And they're still like, we got to go to the basement. And we're like, it's been 10 years.
that's the thing though. I feel like the show was not like they didn't mention the basement for a long time.
They sped the show sped up the pacing like ridiculously as well.
Like they didn't barely mention the basement at all in season 2, at least not to my recollection. So it's not like they kept mentioning it over and over and over, and it became like a running gag in the show as a meme.
Right.
Maybe sure, but like the show sort of dropped it and then brought it back. Like I think it would have been worse if they kept mentioning they need to go there, they need to go there, they need to go there. If the show itself actually was doing that, which to my recollection it was not. Then it would have been more of a problem. But the fact that they introduced it and then came back to it later, I think that's fine, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just remember with the manga, we'd get like 2 or 3 times a year, they'd be like, man, we got to go to the basement. And it's like, it's been 6 years. Like, we're never getting to the fucking basement. And then we kind of get to the fucking basement, and everyone's like, that's fucking it. You know? So I think that's kind of why, you get all those complaints about it is, like, it's not as huge a weight in the anime because they seriously speed that pacing up to like warp drive, which I'm very grateful for and seriously helps the show.
But can you imagine if they did go to the basement right away? Like, there's so much of stuff has happened since then, like in terms of what we know and what has happened to characters and like the world around the Titans, and like it would be so different. So.
I mean, the basement doesn't really work without all of that stuff that they've gone through. But at the exact same time, it's kind of like, at the time, it felt like a lot of padding in order to,
it felt
it felt like
it's super popular. I need to make way more.
Yeah, it at the time, it kind of just felt like he hadn't figured out what was in the basement yet. And the series had taken off, and it's like, well, okay, I'll just do a couple of more arcs and, sort of pad it out and make it so we don't get there immediately.
Now, I have no doubt that he wasn't 100% certain what was going to be in the basement when he first revealed it. Did he have some vague idea of what he wanted it to be? Sure. But did he know, like, specifically, I know this is exactly what's going to be revealed there? Probably not. But I don't think that in itself is a bad thing. It's how well can he basically, like all these manga writers are writing their story on the fly. Even Oda, I don't believe people who say he had like every single thing planned out from the beginning.
No,
but I mean, it all comes down to how well can they write on the fly, and how well can they have things connect from back to front and keep things consistent and avoid plot holes, avoid forgetting plot threads and things like that.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. It took so long to get to the basement in the manga, and it was absolutely not worth like the constant teasing that he was doing, that everyone was just kind of like, are you fucking serious?
I'll have to take your word that it was constantly teased, because I do not feel that in the anime.
No, I mean, they did a lot of editing down and speeding up and whatnot in the anime.
I will say I really like Erwin a lot more now that I've kind of
now that you remember who he is,
I kind of do. I mean, like, I honestly still don't really remember him in the first season, but like, I mean, obviously in this and the previous season, he's been pretty awesome. And this episode, especially with the whole, like, his whole determination to go and see what's in this basement because, it's something that from his childhood. I just think it's pretty badass. And then that scene at the end of the episode where they're standing up on the wall, and he just starts shouting really loud, and everybody down on the ground is shouting back up to them, cheering.
Okay, Erwin, this is your amazing moment. You finally have everyone's respect, and the entire human race, as far as you know it, is looking to you. What do you say?
Just yells. It was great. But we cannot talk about this episode without mentioning the post-credit scene.
Before we get there,
okay,
which a lot of this episode, like a good part of it, like we talked about like they were in the bar, or, you know, the dining room or whatever you want to call it, and there was a little scuffle there, and it was mostly humorous, kind of just character banter. Then
everyone wants to see John and Aaron beat the shit out of each other.
Mikasa especially wants to watch them fight.
But then, like after that, there was sort of a reprisal of our original three characters, kind of, you know, self-reflecting a bit. It felt like an end of season sort of episode, or, you know, it felt appropriate at this point in time. Kind of Aaron, they were basically reminiscing on everything that's happened. I think it's maybe a little bit too on the nose how they're trying to establish that Aaron has changed a bit. I mean, I'll take it. It does maybe feel maybe not as natural as it could have, because they have to sort of reassure us that he's changed through words, and you know, he's still kind of a dork idiot at times, like when he punched himself or whatever. But you know, it was still a decent moment between those three, kind of basically just hammering home to the viewers that the setting has changed, the circumstances around everything has changed, and the characters are growing. And I thought it was a pretty nice moment after all the other shit that's gone down this season.
That same moment was giving us real death flags for Armin, I will say. Hey, we all need to go see the ocean. Come on, we got to check out the ocean.
What was he like? I'm the only one who hasn't changed. Also, Zachley is still on his my shit chair is art.
I didn't realize that's what he was referring to originally. He's like, I have to show people. I'm like, wait, what does he want to show people? It can't be that, right?
It's just George W. Bush's paintings of dogs.
It's that.
No, he wants to trot out the shit-eating chair.
Oh, I actually saw a thing today about, like, to sort of go on a little tangent. Apparently, Attack on Titan is in its final arc now.
You mean the manga?
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all kind of knew, but at the same time, they did announce it's close to finishing. So the next, you know, core of episodes, they might wind up doing one more or so, and that'll be it.
That's good though, because that'll make planning the rest of the series much easier.
Yeah.
I'd rather them have like a known ending point rather than like dragging it on forever.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like what they are probably going to wind up doing is something like what happened with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where they kind of have the last, you know, chapters coming out in conjunction with the final episodes. Because I mean,
It seems like the anime would take too long to make, but anyway.
Well, I mean, they were able to do it with Brotherhood, so you know, it's something that they do. Like, there is the precedent there for that kind of thing.
So
now we can talk about post-ending.
Yeah, then the episode ends. We get our credit sequence, and then mid-credits,
gonna do well. Everyone's amazing. They're off.
But before that though,
all for humanity.
Before that though, during the credits, which was so brilliant, the credits are playing. It's that really, you know, very soft song that plays, and it's very interesting. And you see, you know,
the credits are mostly Historia trying to chase after Ymir. And her backstory, like kind of her story in general.
Right. And so she's running in the field, and then it starts messing up. And like everybody, we're like, what's wrong? My stream is not, what's happening? And there's like some kind of glitch on my TV or something. Yeah. And it's all deliberate. It starts going crazy. And then the credits start rolling backwards. And then suddenly we cut to this shot of Aaron, Levi, and Mikasa on a rooftop. And Levi is shouting at them, saying something like, why did you do this? You knew what would happen to him, and they're just punching the shit out of each other, and it's like cut to black.
And Armin is mysteriously absent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
oh God, I forgot
clearly
that's
that was
coming.
like some kind of foreshadowing for what we're going to see in the next season or next core, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh no, that is actually, I really liked what happened there, but man, I can't even say what I liked or didn't like about it. Yeah, we got to move on.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, Episode 12, Chili Pepper, Part 2. In this episode, dude just straight up just walks out right in front of him.
Because he's a dumbass.
Check out my guitar!
He just carries the damn thing around like a dumbass.
Like we didn't already know this guy was a huge idiot from the first scene, where he's like talking to Jotaro over this phone, and it's like, oh, I guess you're a student, huh? No.
Yeah. Yes. How did you know?
He didn't really look like a student, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's special, so he gets to have a special uniform.
I wasn't expecting him to hold a guitar, though. I wasn't expecting him to look like a rock and roll star.
Yeah,
I mean, I should have JoJo, but
yeah.
I mean, he also said he was 19, and he's like, he does not look 19.
No.
I mean, like what the original Jonathan Joestar? He's like, I'm 16, and he looks like he's like 30. So
the real question is, how the fuck did he get on that boat?
I mean, watching it again, I have no idea.
Maybe it was a stand power where he like turned himself into electricity and went through the water like super quickly. I don't know.
I have no idea.
No, because we learned in that same episode that he can't go in the water.
You're right.
It, like kills his stand.
Because it's
Well,
like
it doesn't kill it, but like
it's like too dispersed. So,
Yeah.
It's not a direct current.
Maybe he jumped in the water and swam over to the boat and got on before it reached
It's about
shore.
the best. Yeah,
I mean, that's
about the
clearly
most
somehow what happened.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, he somehow swam that whole way
He
very
didn't have,
quickly and without anyone else noticing.
well, he didn't have to swim the whole way. He just had to wait until, they were distracted, jump in the water real quick and swim up to the boat.
Which they didn't hear any of this.
Yeah, of course. Because they were too busy staring pensively out at the ocean and talking in hushed tones.
And the boat wasn't like that close either. That was a pretty lengthy swim.
It does smell a bit of like a plot hole, I have to say.
Yeah.
But regardless,
it was
it's JoJo. I'm going to let it slide.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because Chili Pepper sucks in general, but I wasn't really feeling this episode just overall. Like, he wasn't really interesting to fight. It wasn't interesting or humorous, really. It's just kind of, like, I didn't care. It's like, just get rid of this guy.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think the only interesting thing that happened in the episode was Jotaro hitting the concrete and turning it back into, like, oil or whatever. That was kind of interesting, but...
Josuke.
Or, what did I say? Jotaro? Oh, I meant, anyway, Josuke.
20 JoJo's.
Yeah.
I wonder if Koichi could do literally anything to help.
Nope.
One thing I did notice is that Koichi's stand, for whatever reason, has like roller skate wheels on the bottom of it.
Because they're cool.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just
why
weird.
not?
Yeah.
The best part of this episode
He
was
just stood there, basically speedwagoning / that character type.
Yeah. Someone's got to do it.
yeah.
I mean,
Best part
the end of the episode was sweet, though, where Josuke meets his dad.
yeah, that's good.
So his cane breaks, and he's kind of being a tsundere about it. Like, you can grab my hand. It's okay.
I'm not blushing, Baka.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
and
what
then-
are the odds Joseph just broke his own cane?
None. Dude, he's old.
I mean, it did kind of feel
Are
like
you
he
really
was...
thinking that he like purposely broke his cane so he would have to rely on grabbing his son's arm? Like, nah. He just broke it.
No,
I'd like to believe that, but I don't get that impression. I think he's just
Old and he's senile. You have to.
I mean, honestly, it feels like he was just like that conversation he had on the boat where he's like, "Oh, has he said anything about me?" And it's kind of like, I don't know, like I could buy it.
And then Osumatsu was like, "Hey, why don't you fix the cane?"
Oh yeah, you're
You dumbass.
That was really good. You're right. That was like the best part of the scene where, and then Kyochi, how is it?
Koichi.
Jotaro.
Koichi.
No, Koichi. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, this is one of those times where you don't do that. You
Yeah,
let the cane stay broken.
Yeah. It's just like, you friggin' dumbass. Like, there's days you think he can't possibly be that dumb, but he's that dumb.
Oh yeah, let's talk about his masterful plan to determine which is the real chili pepper.
Just punch them both.
them.
He's like, I don't have time for this crap. I'll just punch one until the other one is the real one.
Yeah, he'll just punch them both, which I'm like, hey, if you don't know which one is which, just punch them both.
Punch him now, figure it out later.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
you got 50-50 on the first punch. That's pretty good odds.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's probably the smartest thing he's done in the entire series.
It wasn't smart. It was just lucky.
Well, I mean, he's got two options. You punch both of them, and
It actually kind of is smart. Guaranteed 100% success that you're going to beat up Chili Pepper if you beat up everyone on the boat.
yeah.
I
mean, he's got two options. You beat them both up.
All right. I guess it is.
Take option 3, beat up Joseph.
Honestly, now that you say that, I'm legitimately shocked he didn't accidentally do that somehow. Just come to this idea that, it's not actually Joseph. I should beat him up.
And that's how Joseph died.
Are we going to have to listen to a whole season of Grandpa Joestar basically mishearing everything everyone says?
No, just an episode and a half.
I have a feeling he's not going to stick around.
No, I think he's going to be there long enough to put him on the right track to get the bow and arrow back and then go back home, because he's not equipped for this.
I just didn't want to hear him keep going, what did you say about pizza delivery, man? No, that's not what I'm saying.
I will say it's if they did keep him around, it would be a good way to keep Jotaro out of the fray and from constantly just one-shotting everyone.
Man, they're going to have some fun with Jotaro this season.
Well, I mean, so far they've been doing pretty much everything they can to sort of keep him away from all the fights and let Josuke and everyone else do stuff.
Basically, every villain so far has been like, do not get within a mile of Jotaro.
Well, yeah, I mean, can you blame them? The guy can stop time.
Where was he?
He was on the speedboat going to
Yeah.
To the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean that freaking Chili Pepper outswam him?
He was on the boat.
I don't remember.
Well, no, he got to the boat before Chili Pepper did.
Oh, so he wasn't in the room when he attacked. He just was on the boat. Okay.
Yeah, he left the room at the time and just sort of went off because it's the only reason that, Chili Pepper's plan had even a fraction of a chance of working, because Jotaro wasn't there. It was fucking dumbass.
Mm.
Anyway, if in case you were wondering, you're like, hey, they're going to get the arrow. What's next? There's still hands.
What do you mean?
The scene at the end of the episode, the hand.
Oh yeah, somebody
yeah.
is taking a bath, and then somebody else reaches in, grabs the hand of the person taking the bath, and there's nothing attached.
Yeah, there's
done.
Yeah, somebody's collecting people's hands.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like,
on the bright side, he's always there to give you a hand.
Boo.
Black Clover.
you.
Black Clover. Black Clover episode 46. Awakening of something. I don't know.
Who cares?
Whatever.
Can we skip it?
No.
Oh,
In this
What we say.
episode, they more people come in to have a big, huge character upgrade and hit him with a huge attack that he doesn't give a shit about.
pretty much.
Yeah, this is Noelle's episode. Basically shown in the opening of her, like, oh, this is her big power-up move, her big moment to shine, and then she does get a hit on him, and it does affect him, only in it so far as it makes him stronger.
Yeah,
So
completely
tough
useless.
luck, Noelle.
So basically, all the damage that had been done has just been undone.
Yep. We're back to square one. We're back to 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
aside from the fact, I guess, to give the author the tiniest bit, I would say that I guess technically her character has grown a little, that she now has courage, but as far as the fight's concerned, nothing has been improved. He's still just as strong, if not stronger, than he was.
Yeah,
And Asta has to step in and protect Noelle.
because he's Asta and she's Noelle, and why not?
Yeah, pretty much. It was suitably dickish how he went straight for the leg and the throat of those two dudes. It's like, oh, your dream is singing and dancing, huh?
Yeah.
So there is a moment in this episode between, oh boy, I'm bad at the names, the long-haired ponytail girl, the singer,
Right.
and her brother. And they just revealed now that they're siblings. And then there's like, I forget exactly what happened, but like one of them got injured and the other one sort of, tried to do like some sort of final attack, and then they got basically wiped out too. And I just kind of felt like it was so shoddily done. I usually have an affinity for like siblinghood sorts of relationships in shows like this, but the fact that they just sort of just like dump this on you so quickly in this episode between these two random characters and then try to like up the drama there was actually kind of laughable.
Well, I laughed just because of the fact that fucking dance magic exists. How lame can you be? My magic is dancing.
Look at my incredibly impressive dance. I am twirling in a circle and nothing else.
I think I said something like in the thread, like, and I actually do mean something by this. Like, if Noelle's like had been built up to slightly better before this point, if the relationship between these two sibling characters was established before I ended up to this point, if the villain was a slightly better villain with a more interesting motivation and design, if the animation was better,
I had a friendship,
then this might actually be a decent moment.
I think you've discovered the core flaw of the show.
Yes, it's that it does literally nothing good.
Right.
Pretty
But I do mean something like it feels like there's a baseline there that it's almost sort of like has some sort of semblance of an idea of what it wants to be. It just swings and misses very, very, very badly.
It just doesn't know how to get there.
It's the definition of good on principle, bad in execution.
Right. Like this is
the
a show
idea
that
could work, but the writing and the characterization and the music and the animation, it's all pretty crap.
Yeah, exactly. It's like on paper, this show it should be fine. It should be fun. It should just be like standard battle shonen thing. Instead, it's like I want to tear my eyeballs out.
And so there's some characters on this show I don't mind. Honestly, this feels a lot like Akame ga Kill in that way, where it's like there's a couple of characters on the show that are kind of fun in
I
small
like
doses.
I admit it'll be very satisfying to see Yami fuck this dude up.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be that I'm looking forward to. He's probably the only character I like.
Yes.
I like Marilyn Manson, and I don't know. I kind of like Charmy.
Is good for a joke.
I even like the singer girl. I mean, a little bit. I think she's kind of fine. But they're not like great or anything. But when they're on screen, they do their little 5-second bit. I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah, they're not so bad.
But like a Kame ga Kill was the same way, where it's like one character would walk on the screen and that I liked, and I'd be like, okay, I can like this, and then the rest of the time I'm just like, ugh, this show.
Let's talk about a better show. Hunter x Hunter episode 119, Strong or Weak. In this episode, Ikalgo is basically trying to play Hitman bad.
Yeah, he thinks way too hard.
It's like, I pressed the button too early. God damn it! Fucker, they saw me.
Yeah, he keeps overthinking everything.
So there was that recent drama with the most recent like manga of Hunter x Hunter where an entire page was nothing but dialogue boxes.
Yes.
And this episode is actually kind of a precursor to that because most of the episode is just Ikago talking to himself in his head. And I can just imagine the manga pages of this chapter just being just all words.
I think this episode was like 2 different chapters.
Okay.
So
well, still, there's a lot of inner monologue going on.
Yeah.
But first, we have to see Killua use Speed Force.
Yep.
What was it really?
Except it had 2 different names. Speed of Lightning and Hurricane, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, Speed Force. Don't gotta explain shit.
Except he does explain shit.
Yeah, he's basically overcharging his nerves so that he can react and act without even consciously thinking about it.
It is really satisfying to see what's his face get smashed on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed it, but he called it Godspeed.
God,
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prepare for ludicrous speed. And then he forgot it had a meter, so he's like, shit, fuck.
Yeah, he ran out of energy.
That's literally the last 2 people attacking UP has been like, ha, oh shit.
I actually do appreciate that he didn't like. It seems like it really actually wasn't like that damaging to UP.
Yeah,
I felt like it would have cheapened it if like UP was and P2 and all these people were built up to be like these immensely powerful beings that they stand a sliver of a chance against, and then Killua would just come up and like wreck his shit, like just because he was angry or something. So I do appreciate that like they sort of balanced it between like he got some hits in, but he basically couldn't keep it up and had to retreat or else he'd get stomped.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way because in the last episode I said I couldn't imagine Killua taking him, and he doesn't really. I mean, he just sort of holds his own.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Killua is that character in when you make a character in a video game, he puts all his points into agility, and he doesn't have enough points in strength to actually get the job done. So he can get all the hits he wants in, but they all do like 3 damage.
Yeah.
Now remind me, at this point, he has APR on him, right?
Yes.
And so if they wanted to, they just have to wait until that becomes like overbearing. But because he has like a well of Nen or whatever, that would take a long time.
He has roughly 7 trillion Nen points.
Right. But every time he's hit and takes damage, that number goes down a little bit that they have to build up to.
I don't quite remember the mechanics of how.
Yeah, I don't get it either because like they made a point earlier in like 4 or 5 episodes ago that like UP performing attacks makes the number go up, but because UP is so efficient with his Nen that the number barely goes up. So even when UP's doing super powerful attacks, it's not increasing the counter hardly.
Right. It's like the counter is once you're being lent more Nen than you actually have in stock. Like, let's say I have 1,000 Nen and it starts building up and I'm using it. Once I get to like 499 and my loan goes up to 501, I can no longer pay it back and APR becomes IRS. So every time he uses an attack, it makes it that much easier or takes damage, it makes it that much easier for APR to hit its eventual goal.
some point I might just have to revisit that APR like introduction episode.
Or take
Yeah.
a class in finance.
Pretty much, yeah. It felt like Togashi had, done his taxes for the first time when he came up with that power. Or like he's like, oh, I'll take out a loan to buy a house. Oh, I see how this is how this works. Now I will write it into my Nen powers.
Ha! I actually read the entire fine print.
At least someone did.
So the rest of this episode was Metal Gear Solid with an octopus.
Like I said, it feels like Hikago is trying to pull off an assassination in Hitman, and everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
Felt kind of
Yeah.
bad for him because at the end, basically, the episode ends with him like being he was going to kill the guy. He had the opportunity, but he couldn't do it. He's not a murderer. He's like, I'm a coward.
He's too nice a person.
Yeah, it really did make him seem like a really nice guy.
I'm
Or,
just here
I'm
as
sorry.
an emotional support octopus.
Yeah, he's an octopus.
But like his whole job was to save Paul. He should have just locked him in and left.
Yeah. Some clever tricks, though. Like with
I like how they built up. Like in terms of what he's going to do to keep the blue lobster guy, whatever his name is, like in place, and then he just like bolts down the door, like, oh shoot, I didn't think of that. You just blow up the door.
He also uses his octopusness to squeeze through like a little gap.
Mm-hmm. He fills the room with sleeping gas, and like because he's an octopus, he can just kind of lift himself through a little gap to keep himself at least to a place with normal air. And everything kind of worked for him in the end, and he's about to pull it off, but he doesn't.
Nope.
Someone made the reference to Irvine from Final Fantasy VIII.
I have no idea who that is.
If you haven't played Final Fantasy VIII, it's very similar. He's a sniper, and he's about to basically make a shot, but he can't do it. He basically can't pull the trigger. Literally that.
Yeah.
So it's an adequate comparison.
Anyway, meanwhile, Poof's got Moral pulling a Wolfen and just overthinking everything.
Wolfen's still around somewhere, right?
Somewhere.
I don't remember what he was doing. He's just still freaking out.
He's somewhere being like, should I touch this doorknob?
They want me to touch the doorknob. That's what they want.
Is that blade of grass a bomb?
But yeah, this episode, not a whole lot happened after. Like I didn't dislike the episode, but it was just kind of a. Was it a highlight?
It was a bit slow after the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'm excited for some actual shit to go down.
Yeah, because there is a lot of shit that feels like it's about to go down and get real as hell.
We're still waiting for Poof to wake up.
Yeah, there's the Poof thing. There's Gone's thing. There's the King versus Netero thing. Oh god, that I really want to fucking see. When the hell is that coming?
Next year.
Oh, fuck you, next year.
I mean, how many more episodes do we have this year? Like, do we have a marathon this week?
Right.
Like 2 more in November, and then like 2 in December. So,
No, we have 1 more this month. Then I would guess 3 in December. So I think only 4 episodes of stuff left.
Yeah.
Right. And how many until the King versus Netero again?
I have no idea.
I thought it was like 8 or something.
Don't know.
You're the only one who's seen this.
No, I've read it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? Huh.
Hang on. Let me look this up.
I mean, we'll get there when we get there, but
yeah, no, I'm just really curious right now. Okay, this one was.
This is episode 119.
Yes.
Right. Okay, hang on. Here we go. 119. Jesus.
Are you counting like how many are left in the arc, or until like a certain?
No, until the King versus Netero.
Is that like
All right.
is that like the big moment? Are you spoiling it for us?
No. It's one of the cool. The big moment
You're
is
hyping
much. No, it's much later. Well, I mean, they're all really big fucking moments, but I'm just wondering how long till that fight. All right, so
Exciting. Looking
Yes.
at episode numbers action.
This is a great way to end the podcast.
okay, yeah, okay, about 6 episodes.
So we'll get right to it at the beginning of next year at some point.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it right before the end of year awards.
Man, it's gonna be tough having to like look at Mob Psycho. Just kind of came in at the worst possible time, where it's gonna be like half the, like most of the show this year, and like critical episodes next year.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna get some. It's gonna win some awards next year, but probably not this year.
No, Mob Psycho is gonna be mostly this year.
Yeah, I know,
Mob
but all of
Psycho
the really
ends
big
in
episodes are next year.
mid-January. Yeah. Just a note: Hunter x Hunter ends in June, so that's how much.
Well,
how
Mob
far we have
Psycho
left to
ends
go.
in
Yeah.
mid-January, but there's definitely going to be at least 2 marathons in December. So
Right.
Yeah.
we're probably only going to get to episode 7 of Mob Psycho this year,
Hmm.
which is like, oh god, it literally is like half and half. Well, we'll let the ranking, the show ranking will have to be the final word.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Hmm.
Because sometimes shows get screwed by years.
Yeah, because that whole January, that whole end of December month off thing is.
I still think it's kind of weird how they announced Megalobox first, and there's like going to be like a month between announcement and reveal and show there. Then like Mob Psycho was like literally the week before, like it's coming.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah,
We're already watching.
it is a bit weird.
Yeah.
Like I definitely expected Megalobox to be this show, and instead we're watching Mob Psycho, which I have no problem with. But
Like I don't really care. It's just kind of it's like, huh, that's weird why they did it that way. I mean, I suppose every show acquisition is weird and different. So
yeah.
Some of them more sudden than others. Anyway, anything else about Toonami this week?
No, I don't think I'm gonna watch the marathon unless I like really have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
There's always something else to do. It's called sleep.
That's for the week.
being on the best coast, it'll only be like 8 o'clock when it's airing for me.
Damn you!
And I don't do much on Saturdays, so I'll probably just throw it on while I'm playing a game or something. Just
Hey, I've got a weird question. I've never known what the answer to this is, but I know that there's like 2 streams or 2 broadcasts.
Yeah.
How does that work?
You know
Because
how
we're always on the East Coast or
Yeah,
watching
no.
the East Coast version.
You know
the
how-
the West Coast also gets the East Coast feed for all of the channels.
okay, so how it works for me specifically, I have Spectrum Cable, and on Spectrum Cable, I cannot get the East Coast Adult Swim Cartoon Network feed. They don't offer it. Like I can watch
No.
the West Coast feed, which is delayed by 3 hours. So like technically on my coast, if it airs, at 10 o'clock, if that's what the schedule says, it airs at 10 o'clock here as well. So 3 hours later. So if I had satellite like DirecTV, I could. They do offer like the East Coast feed. They basically offer both channels, West and East, and you can just choose which one you want to watch. But since I don't have DirecTV and since Spectrum Cable doesn't offer it, I actually just legally stream Toonami, even though I pay for cable. I mean, because it's just like, hey, they don't offer it. What can I do?
Well, you can, for the record, if you have cable, you can watch it on Adult Swim's website.
I forgot to mention that. That doesn't work either because Spectrum sucks.
Oh,
Oh, they don't allow a Spectrum.
Nope.
Ah,
Or I think they're
Really?
supposed to, but it doesn't work.
I think it works for me.
No, I tried.
That sucks.
Oh, no, wait. No, I don't have Spectrum Cable. I have PlayStation View. Never mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
That does suck. All
Yep.
right.
But if you ever
So,
need
yeah,
a stream for it, I have one. It's not necessarily legal.
So that sucks that, like, even people on our own forums couldn't watch it with us if they're on the West Coast unless they have some kind of cable deal that they can watch this the live stream.
Obviously, none of TV is set up to accommodate our weird situation.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing: West Coast only live TV is shown live. Everything that's recorded or not live is like, hey, it comes on at 8. If you go to the Mountain Time Zone, it comes on at 6, though.
There are some channels that don't have like a West East Coast split. It's just aired, and so I get stuff like earlier in the night, if you will. But some like there are quite a few like cable channels or stuff that is just delayed by 3 hours, and that's just how it is. Or like sometimes channels like CBS, like certain things like sporting events, of course, will be live. And that's why you sometimes hear, I know you don't watch sports, but they'll say like 60 Minutes is coming up next, except on the West Coast, because they just do weird stuff over here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, TV is weird.
So you watch with us every week, but you have to really go out of your way.
Yes. And if that stream died, if that person restreaming it like stops doing it, I'd have to I don't know, I'd have to find another place for it. Oops.
He's watching from Seafort. Pirates on the high seas.
Yes.
I don't feel too bad though, because I do pay for cable, and it's just like, hey, you don't offer it. What can I do?
I tried to give you money.
Yeah, I do give you money,
but you don't give me what I need.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that'll about do it for this episode of the Toonami Escape Podcast. Thank you, B-Dubs.
Okay.
Thank you, C. Kohler.
No problem.
Thank you, Seda.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week for episode 129. Good night.